Stephen Hawking wrote this about 12 years ago, and he has since passed away. Does everybody know who Stephen Hawking was? We're good on that? Stephen Hawking was a brilliant scientist who at a very young age was diagnosed with what is commonly called Lou Gehrig's disease. It eventually took his life, but he lived for a very long time with that disease, much longer than most people do. He was a brilliant man and an ardent atheist. And so he's going to tell us there is now, at the top there it says, there is sound scientific explanation for the making of our world, which is really interesting. If you're going to say it was made, somebody made it, right? No gods required. So Hawking makes a strong case, or seems to be making a strong case, until he turns to a theory that is completely like, this could possibly happen this way, but that there's no evidence behind it. So I'm going to read this aloud. We'll stop at different points, and what we're going to talk about here. Part of what we're going to talk about is the design of the universe, and even Richard Hawkins, who is Richard Dawkins, who is the most famous atheist on the planet, said that evolution is the belief that what appears to be designed actually came about through random chance. Even he says, sure, looks like it's designed, but it can't be designed because there is nothing that could design it. This is Hawking's take. According to Viking mythology, I'm so sorry. I know it's hot in here, but we are going to. Sorry. Wear summer clothes in the winter and winter clothes in according to Viking mythology, eclipses occur when two wolves, Skull and Hati, catch the sun or moon. At the onset of an eclipse, people would make lots of noise, hoping to scare the wolves away. After some time, people must have noticed that the eclipses ended regardless of whether they ran around banging on pots. Ignorance of nature's ways led people in ancient times to postulate many myths in an effort to make sense of their world. But eventually, people turned to philosophy, that is, the use of reason with a good dose of intuition. That's nice. To decipher their universe. Today, we use reason, mathematics, and experimental tests. In other words, modern science. Albert Einstein said the most incomprehensible thing about the universe is that it is comprehensible. We're seeing more and more that maybe it is. He meant that unlike our homes on a bad day, the universe is not just a conglomeration of objects, each going its own way. Everything in the universe follows laws without exception. Everything in the universe follows laws without exception. Does that sound like random chance or like design? Random chance is a car wreck. Are they ever ordered? Are they ever orderly? No, trust me, I saw my car after somebody slammed into it head on with my daughter. And my car was all over the road. That sounds like not random. Newton believed that our strangely habitable solar system did not arise out of chaos, but the mere laws of nature. Instead, he maintained that the order of the universe was created by God at first and conserved by him to this day in the same state and condition. The discovery recently of extreme fine-tuning of many laws of nature could lead some back to the idea that this grand design is the work of some grand designer. Yet the latest advances in cosmology explain why the laws of the universe seem tailor-made for humans without the need for a benevolent creator. Spoiler alert, we're going to find out it isn't just the Earth that is tailor-made for human for human life or for life. The entire universe have been created, and Hawking would agree with this. This is what we're saying. The entire universe seems to be created so as to allow humans to live on. It's to be designed for that purpose. And Hawking is admitting that much. Many improbable occurrences conspired. There's such a thing as an accidental conspiracy. To conspire, it takes intention. So again, yes, accidental conspiracy is an oxymoron. Many improbable occurrences conspired, which means intention, so it looks like design, to create Earth's human-friendly design. And they would indeed be puzzling. So he's using the verbiage of design and saying, but there is no design. So it would indeed be puzzling if ours was the only solar system in the universe. But today, we know of hundreds of other solar systems, and few doubt that there exist countless more among the billions of stars in our galaxy. Planets of all sorts exist, and obviously, when the beings on a planet, and obviously when the beings on a planet that support life examine the world around them, they are bound to find that their environment satisfies the condition they require to exist. So he's making presuppositions. He's not stating facts, he's making presuppositions. What happens when you pile a presupposition upon a presupposition upon a presupposition? Yeah.
Same worldview.
Well, that's a worldview, but yes, what happens to those presuppositions?
Well, it's kind of if the things predicted is wrong, everything else you predicted is now completely wrong.
Yes.
Out of current foundation, the house doesn't.
Yes. Eli.
I mean, like, even if it's true or not, you can't always know it. So it's like, it's how it becomes easily more stable.
It sure does. It sure does. So when you pile an improbability upon improbability, you're moving toward untruth, right? You're moving toward it's impossible, and that's what he's doing. He's saying it's very improbable. It's very improbable. Why don't we put God into the equation and see if that might be an answer? Look, if you rule out the wrong answer in advance, you're never going to find the right answer, and that's what's happening. And it's willful on his part. And I want you to as we finish this, where's the proof of what he's saying? He's saying this is true, but where is the proof? It's conjecture. Even the life on other planets. I'm sure that when the beings on those other planets, has that ever been discovered? It is possible. I love what Larry Norman says. Larry Norman is the grandfather, the beginner of contemporary Christian music, and he has a song called called UFO, an unidentified flying object. Jesus is that unidentified flying object. And he says this. He sings this. If there's life on other planets, then I'm sure that he must know, and he's been there once already and has died to save their souls. I don't know if there's life on other planets, but nobody does, and that's the point. It is possible to turn that statement into a scientific principle. The fact of our being restricts the characteristics of the kind of environment in which we find ourselves. So we make the laws of nature. Nature doesn't make us, yes.
It's something I've thought of before actually, where when there's a 1 in a million, let's say there's a 1 in a million chance, right? And that 1 out of a million is the only variable that has conscious awareness that they are the one variable. Then they'll find all the conditions for that one variable met. Because for that one variable to even exist, you would need all the conditions. So this actually makes logical sense. I've actually thought of this before. Like, yeah, of course everything is perfect for us. We're the 1 out of a million chance, supposedly. So
And it would be much larger odds.
right, it would be much larger odds than that as well. But
We're
the
gonna
point
see.
is,
We're gonna see what the odds are.
right.
Oh my gosh, that's not really.
This is a
It's
100%.
Oh my word.
Definitely a shirt.
It's so You're so proud. You're so proud.
That's not a dress code.
Put those away. Put those knobs away.
You told me you can take it
You
off.
did tell me I can take it off.
I did. You said you had a shirt under it.
You want to see what's not?
No, I do not.
Exactly.
By any means. I think I'm
John does. John does.
For example, if
Well, I actually have a question. I actually have.
okay.
It's like what he's basically saying is, that basically what I think what he's pointing out is that everyone says it is so unlikely that these conditions were met that surely those conditions were made specifically for us. And what he's trying to say is, or it's not that they were made for us, it's that we were made for them. Kind of. In that
Either way, you got God.
true. But like what he's trying to say is that it's more that we it's not that those conditions are so unique or that those are special. It's that we know that those are the only ones that are like those are what we exist.
Yeah.
Those wouldn't be like it wouldn't even matter for those conditions. So of course,
No, I get that. I get that. I don't think it's an either or. I think it's a both and.
Would you ever find life on other planets? With that, I don't want to say.
Or disprove God?
Yeah, because I mean,
No.
I've kind of thought about it a little bit, and I don't know. I'm not trying to say that I know anything, but it feels like it feels like if we were to, because I understand in the Bible, it takes away, if we were to find a life on other planets, it would take away from the fact that we were made in God's image, and we were made for fellowship with God. But if there's other created beings on another planet,
Someplace else. Yeah. No, I think it would just be God.
it's also, I mean,
You know,
not that God
created
needs to tell us
elsewhere
everything.
as well. I mean, He did create elsewhere, right? Everything that's out there is His
I mean, not that
creation.
God needs to tell us everything, but it almost feels like it would be something that should be in the Bible, like, oh, hey, by the way.
God is Jesus.
Yeah. No, I mean, I really do believe that with only God knows, and I really agree with Leonardo on that.
I don't understand what you're saying. More like to sum up. It's not as much like the universe wasn't so unique that like for us, it's that the universe was like normal or like how it should have been, and we were just created because
No, we weren't created because of
well, that's
that.
like what he's saying.
But yeah,
So basically, I think I can sum up what he's stating in a conditional statement because I realize that the inverse and the converse are both true. So basically, here's the conditional statement. If the conditions for human life exist, then humans exist. And so the inverse, if humans exist, the conditions for humans to exist. And that's true both ways. And even the contrapositive is true, where if the conditions for humans don't exist, humans don't exist. If humans don't exist,
It seems like he's kind of saying like the lines like obviously when beings on a planet fast towards life and the world around them, they're going to find that their environment satisfies the conditions for them to exist. Basically, if they exist, they're gonna figure out that the conditions are right for them to exist.
Right.
Yes,
Well, what's funny is
but-
this is actually a neutral argument.
Exactly.
Because there are more people that want to say something,
Right,
but that doesn't negate God.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
I agree with like can't really know. I mean, there could be like I don't think there's a really but honestly, why do people care so much?
I don't know.
Literally,
It's a fascinating.
it's just like it's taken forever.
I mean, it's
Like, why wouldn't you
ridiculous.
It's never affected us before.
Page 74 was just Page 74, Hubble's telescope was just disproving that the expanding universe. The universe is not expanding. It would just made the telescope the biggest and the best telescope of all time. Just showed us it looked out into the past. It shows that the universe is not expanding, and that all the universes that it's seen in the past because of how light travels are all super old and are old enough to be before the Big Bang, as science is predicted to be. So, but
Oh, I know what she's
page
saying.
74 out right.
I know what she's saying.
Okay, we can
It's
talk
saying
about that later.
Hubble disproved Einstein's theory. Einstein's theory is correct. Through a better telescope.
Okay, that we can talk about that when we get there. Okay, we're almost there, but yeah, thank you, and I'd love to talk to you about more of that. This is dated. The book's dated also, but they did just update it, so I'm a little surprised by that. But okay, so I'm going to start back where we previously were, the second to last paragraph. It is possible to turn that last statement into a scientific principle. The fact that our being restricts characteristics of the kind of environment in which we find ourselves. For example, if we did not know the distance from the Earth to the Sun, the fact that beings like us exist would allow us to put bounds on how small or great the Earth-Sun separation could be. When we need liquid water to exist, and if the Earth were too close, it would all boil off. If it were too far, it would freeze. The principle is called the weak anthropic principle. We'll go over that in detail. The weak anthropic principle is not very controversial, but there is a stronger form that is regarded with disdain among some physicists. The strong anthropic principle suggests that the fact that we exist imposes constraints not just on our environment, but on the possible form and the content of the laws of nature themselves. The idea arose because it is not only the peculiar characteristics of our solar system that seem oddly conducive to the development of human life, but also the characteristics of our entire universe, which is what I was saying earlier, and its laws. They appear to have a design that is both tailor-made to support us, and if we are to exist, leaves little room for alteration that is much more difficult to explain. The tale of how the primordial universe of hydrogen, helium, and a bit of lithium evolved to a universe harboring at least one world with intelligent life, like us, is a tale of many chapters. The forces of nature had to be such that heavier elements, especially carbon, could be produced from the primordial elements and remain stable for at least 1 billion years. Those heavy elements were formed in the furnaces we call stars. So the forces first had to allow stars and galaxies to form. Those in turn grew from the seeds of tiny inhomogeneities in the early universe. Even all of that is not enough. The dynamics of the star had to be such that some would eventually explode precisely in a way that could disperse the heavier elements through space. In addition, the laws of nature had to dictate that those remnants could recondense into a new generation of stars that surrounded by planets incorporating the newly formed heavy elements. So there are laws that are always true, but is that because random chance made something that is not random, or is it because a creator made it? By examining the model universes we generate with the theories of physics are altered in certain ways, one can study the effect of changes in the physical law in a methodical manner. Such calculations show that a change as little as 0.05% in the strength of the strong nuclear force or 4% in the electric force would destroy either nearly all carbon or all oxygen in every star, and hence the possibility of life as we know it. We'll go into detail about what is necessary for us to live on this planet. Also, most of the fundamental constants appearing in our theories appear fine-tuned in the sense that if they were altered in only a modest amounts, the universe would be qualitatively different and in many cases unsuitable for the development of life. For example, if protons were 0.2% heavier, they would decay into neutrons, destabilizing atoms, and there would be no life. If one assumes, is it scientific to make assumptions? So we have to assume something to get to where Stephen Hawking is taking us. If one assumes a few 100 million years in stable orbit is necessary for planetary life to evolve, the number of space dimensions is also fixed in our existence. This is because, according to the laws of gravity, it is only the three dimensions that stable in 3 dimensions that stable elliptical orbits are possible. In any but 3 dimensions, even a small disturbance, such as that produced by the pull of other planets, would send a planet off its circular orbit and cause a spiral either into or away from the sun. The emergence of the complex structures capable of supporting intelligent observers seems to be very fragile. The laws of nature form a system that is extremely fine-tuned. What can we make of this coincidence? Luck in the precise form. Is there such a thing as precise form? I'm not sure there is, but that's what it takes to negate luck. Luck in precise form and nature of fundamental physical law is a different kind of luck from the luck we find in environmental factors. It raises the natural question of why it is that way. I think he's creating a God and naming it luck. Many people would like us to use these coincidences as evidence for the work of God. The idea that the universe was designed to accommodate mankind appears in theologies and mythologies dating from thousands of years ago. In Western culture, the Old Testament contains the idea of providential design, but the traditional Christian viewpoint was also greatly influenced by Aristotle, who believed in an intelligent natural world that functions according to some deliberate design. So that is not the answer of modern science. As recent advances in cosmology suggest, the laws of gravity and quantum theory allow universes to appear spontaneously from nothing. Spontaneous creation is the reason there is something rather than nothing. Why the universe exists, why we exist, it is not necessary to invoke God to light the blue torch paper and set the universe going. Here's the thing. Yes.
Ice coming out.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. Whatever is true about multiverse theory, it had to start somewhere. So you're just pushing it back, right? Even if there are multiple universes that spawn universes that spawn universes, then where did the first one? So it isn't proof that there is no God.
There's no proof that it's from nothing.
There's no proof that it's from nothing. Yeah, and that's what there would have to be. Our universe seems to be one of many, each with different laws, which we don't know yet. But the multiverse idea is not a notion invented in an account for the miracle of fine tuning. It is a consequence predicted by many theories in modern cosmology. If it is true, it reduces the strong anthropic principle to the weak one, putting the fine tunings of the physical law on the same footing as the environmental factors, for it means that our cosmic habitat, now the entire observable universe, is just one of many. Each universe has many possible histories and many possible states. Only a few would allow creatures like us to exist, although we are puny and insignificant on the scale of the cosmos. This makes us, in a sense, lords of creation. He is admitting the worth of human beings, but what gives us that worth? So, I am not anywhere near as smart as Stephen Hawking, but I will tell you, if something has a design, it has a designer. And that's where we're headed. How much time do we have? 5 minutes? Okay, let's do 5 minutes.